I just finished a full day of work. Brand calls, planning future videos, sorting deliverables, chasing timelines, and figuring out what I'm actually filming next week. And I did most of it without sitting there like a madman by using the PLAUD Note Pro. This has been one of the biggest changes for me lately. Because a lot of my work now isn't just about filming. It's calls, it's planning, it's back and forth with brands, it's can we move this deadline, can you include this talking point? And with those little details, it's so easy to forget the second the call ends. And this is where it fits into my life. Guys, this is the PLAUD Note Pro. And after reviewing the earlier PLAUD Note, as you can see just here previously on my channel, it feels like the one that really clicked for me for more structured side of my business and workflow. While the PLAUD was great previously, the PLAUD Note Pro really does take it up a step. Not because PLAUD suddenly invented AI transcripts or summaries, that was already part of the PLAUD ecosystem, but because this hardware makes that whole process feel much more natural on a day-to-day basis. Hey everyone, it's Andy. In this video, I want to focus properly on the PLAUD Note Pro. We'll do the unboxing, talk about the design features, go through how I use it for brand calls and planning, look at what makes it different physically, and by the end, I'll tell you who I think this actually makes sense for. And as always, if you want to check it out, there'll be links in the description below, and using those links really do help support the channel. We've also done a review on the PLAUD NotePin S, the PLAUD NotePin, and we've also done a comparison of the two as well. So you can check those in the links below. So what do you actually get with it? So out of the box, this thing really stands out, is how ridiculously slim it is. It only weighs 2.9 millimeters thin and weighs about 30 grams. So if I take it out of the case just here, you can see, that's when they say ultra slim, they actually mean it. It doesn't feel like some chunky recorder stuck to your phone. It feels like a proper modern tool that's been designed to disappear into your workflow. And guys, it's actually not any bigger than a credit card. You also get the black magnetic case, which is nice because straight away it feels like something you can actually use and protect without going hunting for extras. And that's one of the biggest strengths of the Note Pro. It's so easy to live with. If a gadget is annoying, bulky, or awkward, I just won't keep using it. Note Pro doesn't have that problem. Once it's on your phone, it just feels like it's part of the setup. And because of that, the PLAUD device I naturally reach for when I'm heading into a call. For me, that's usually brand work, campaign planning, deliverables, content strategy. I also use it for diary entries when I'm walking on the beach, exercising when I want to take notes, or even using it for conference calls with other people. So normally this is where I'd be trying to listen, think, talk, and type at the same time, which is a terrible way to do any of those things properly. With the PLAUD Note Pro, I attach it to the phone, switch it to the right mode, and just focus on the conversation. So now guys, I'm going to do an example. We're actually going to use it now with my phone and show you how it records it. It really is incredible. So guys, just got off a call just then with the solar company. We're doing a full solar installation tomorrow for a customer for a project we're doing. So it was an 11-minute phone call. We went through details about the project, how it's going to work. Now, as you can see, here it is on the PLAUD Note. It's done through the PLAUD Note Pro, not through the PLAUD PIN S. But as you can see, it gives a full summary of the conversation. So it's quite a long call. It was 11 minutes. You can see here, solar panel installation, overview, background, pain points. So it kind of goes through the customer uncertain, lacks clarity regarding technical specifications of the new solar system and components. So the problem, the impact, the situation, the examples. Now, if you're reading through there as well, it kind of goes through some of the questions we had. So it was a technical conversation about how it all works. We had the customer, the COSI, and the installer, so myself. Now, if we go back a step as well, it gives highlights in the summary. So if we go to the recording highlights, this is where I press the button down. You can see it's made to film the upcoming solar installation process to create educational YouTube content. So that's when I press the button. So that was a key point about what we're covering. It gives the meeting minutes about each of the meeting people, how they did it. It gives a decision summary about it. So down there, what the plan is, discussion points. So now we can go away now and have a plan for what's going to happen tomorrow, which is recorded. I don't remember any of it. Look, assess roof clearance, 200 millimeters off the gutter line. Adjust panel weighting. I mean, this stuff is critical when you're actually doing a conversation, and it looks really good. If we go back a step as well, you can see you got the mind map down there below as well of the conversation happened. As you can see, it goes through all the different sections, what we spoke about. You can add speaker names in here if you want. We can ask questions, for example, how's installation? And it goes through and answers it the best it can from the information you've got. So you've got all the information there. You've got meeting minutes as well about the actual segment of the conversation. I mean, guys, it truly does capture everything. It really is incredible. And it's so much different than just not having it. Now, every one of my calls, any meetings I have, it records it all for me and it's all available at the touch of a button. It really is brilliant. Well, how was that? Well, the Note Pro has dual smart recording. So you can switch between phone call recording and in-person recording it depending on what you're doing. That matters because it makes it more versatile than just for a thing for calls. If I'm on a proper phone call, great. If I'm in a face-to-face planning conversation, it can handle that too. And it's not just tiny convenient either. For something this slim, the actual hardware is impressive. It uses 4 MEMS microphones and 1 VPU, and PLAUD says to capture voices from up to 5 meters away. So even though it feels featherlight, it's not some weak little accessory, it's a serious bit of kit. And battery and storage are strong too. You're getting up to 30 hours of recording, 60 hours of standby, and 64 gig of storage, which means you're not constantly worrying about charging it or running out of space halfway through a busy week. That's a big deal if you're like me and you're constantly bouncing between calls, planning, filming, and editing. Now the important part, and this is where I want to be clear, that PLAUD Note Pro is not really about recording for the sake of recording. The real value is what happens afterwards. And that's the difference as well. When you got your phone, you've got to go into it, you've got to set recording, you've got to then take the recording, put it into different programs. PLAUD does it all, and it's also automatic. So PLAUD as a platform already did transcripts and summaries before with Note Pro. But this whole process feels much more seamless for calls and work. So let's say I've just finished a brand call. We've talked timelines, deliverables, changes, approvals, and maybe extras to the campaign. The call ends, and instead of me sitting there trying to untangle it, PLAUD can turn that conversation into something usable. And it does it automatically too. So when a call comes in, you can select it to start recording the call straight away, which is great. Now, what it does, it starts to transcribe it. So the PLAUD intelligence side is strong. You're getting AI transcription in 112 languages, with speaker labels and even custom vocabulary, which is really useful if you deal with brand names, product names, weird creative jargon, or things that generic transcription tools often butcher. Then on top of that, PLAUD can generate summaries using up to 10,000 plus templates, plus mind maps, and even workflow integration. Guys, it really is incredible. And that's a bit I didn't want to gloss over, because for my work, it's not enough just to have a transcript. I need useful outputs. I need the summary, I need the key points, I need the text next steps. I need something I can actually work from, not just a wall of text. And that's where multi-dimensional summaries come in. Instead of one generic summary, PLAUD can take one conversation and turn to multiple role-specific summaries, depending on what you need. That's genuinely useful if one conversation needs to become a creative summary, a project summary, or a more action-focused version. But also if you want to do a diary entry, for example, you don't want a template that you use for business. If you're doing a template, for example, on how to do exercise, you don't want to create a summary. So it changes them. And that makes Note Pro feel less like an AI recorder and more like a proper work assistant. Another thing worth mentioning is that it isn't limited to just audio capture either. PLAUD supports multimodal input, so you can capture audio, notes, images, and highlights in better context. That's smart because real world rarely happens in one neat format. Sometimes there's something you need to say, something you type, and something you need to visually reference. And the other nice thing is that once you own a PLAUD device, you get access to PLAUD Desktop. So you can record in-person phone calls and online conversations, then manage it in the PLAUD app and the PLAUD web. So even though the video is about PLAUD Note Pro itself, it still plugs into a much bigger workspace. And that's why I think PLAUD Note Pro works so well for the more organized side of my workflow. So this is a PLAUD device I reach for when the conversation matters, when it's likely to create follow-up work, and when I know I want a proper record of what's said afterwards. And that's the difference. Now guys, we also have PLAUD NotePin S, which we'll be doing a video on. You can see it just here. Now it's also great as well. You can put it on your shirt, put it on your wrist, and it does conversations as well. It's very, very good. Check out the review on that as well. It also does some nice little touches as well, like the instant view display in the PLAUD Note Pro, which helps it feel more premium usable, not just like a black slab stuck onto your phone. And it's also good to see PLAUD leaning to security properly here. They're talking about ISO 27001, ISO 2701, GDPR, the whole bit. So compliance actually matters if you're handling sensitive conversations or using this in more serious professional environments. So guys, who do I think the PLAUD Note Pro really is for? Well, if your day revolves around calls, planning, client work, brand work, meetings, or any kind of conversation where detail matters, then this makes a lot of sense. If you're the sort of person that wants to be organized, that wants to not have messy notes, and you don't want to have to trust your memory, then this is exactly the kind of tool that can make the process feel much cleaner. For me personally, it's become a PLAUD device that best suits the needs of my business. It also helps me with my exercise, my tracking, my diary entries, my personal life too. So overall, I think the PLAUD Note Pro is a very smart piece of hardware kit. It solves the right problem in a very natural way. It's tiny, it's genuinely well designed, fits into a beautiful phone-based workflow, and when you combine it with PLAUD's transcription summaries, mind maps, workflow tools, and search, it becomes much more than just a recorder. Now, as I said, we've got the PLAUD Note and the PLAUD Note Pro, both still available, both great devices. We've also got the PLAUD Note S as well, which you can see just here. Again, another fantastic device as well. You can also purchase the PLAUD Pen as well. We did reviews on all of these. Check out links below. Using these links really do support the channel. Make sure to let me know if the video was helpful. Subscribe to the channel and let me know in comments if what you use a PLAUD Note Pro for. And also check out our PLAUD playlist as well. We've got all the videos in there as well. Guys, thanks for watching. I'm Andy from Mr. Yoo-Hoo, and I'll see you in the next one.